Welcome to the Power Pros Entertainment Network. My name is Jacob, and today joining me on the table, we have Cam
Hello.
And Alex.
Hey there, everyone. Glad to be here for Game 2 of the Power Pros World Series here between the Blake Supremes and the Fresno Flyers. A quick little recap from Game 1. If you have not watched Game 1, go ahead and do that right now. I will give a couple seconds for that. Game 1 ended here with the Fresno Flyers taking the victory over the Blake Supremes, a score of 3-2 in what was a defensive game early on, where the first score came from Sean Furcott, a home run in the 5th inning. Here, they would take that, the Blake Supremes would take a 1-0 lead early on, but the Fresno Flyers would have their big comeback in the 8th inning with batting 7 people to the plate, scoring 3 runs here, and then at that point, the Supremes had nothing else to work with, and it ended being a 3-2 ball game. Game 2, now a little bit of a different story here for both sides, as now the pitchers in the last game here are going to be players, position players, in this game here. So let's go over the starting lineups real quick here. For the Blake Supremes here, you have Kevin Nogilny over in center field, followed by Steve Dork, the second baseman. Daryl Archidell, the starting pitcher in the last game, is now in this game as batting third, the shortstop, followed up by the cleanup man and the designated hitter Tank Dagwill, followed up by Tim Sandael over in right field. Bobson Dugnut is the catcher, followed by Slave McDykel over at third base. Willie Dustis is out in left, followed by Rexford Vickford at first to round out the starting 9. And Joe Random II is on the bump here for the Supremes. Then for the home team, Fresno Flyers, they'll be leading off with their pitcher from last game in Tyler Yates. He's over at second base. He's followed up by Skip Marlowe, the catcher, then Jonathan Diamond in center field. Van Hecken is the cleanup man over in left, followed by Winnie Pooh over at third base. Terry Triples over at first base, followed up by Christian Yates in right field. A.A. Ron II is a designated hitter, and rounding out the starting 9 is Corky Trask over at shortstop, and they will be sending Victor Karpov up to the bump.
And now Cam for the ability of the day.
So the ability today is really Hot Hitter. Hot Hitter gives a contact boost after a player's first hit. This means that when these hitters get hits early, it makes hits a lot easier later in the game. So these starts of these games really matter into making these hitters have a better ability. Breakdown.
We saw that with Terry Triples back in game 1 here, where he got in his first 2 at-bats double, single, and then he had one of the last big hits of that 8th inning. He is the only player amongst both sides to get 3 hits in the game. On the Blake Supremes side, we also saw this here with Sean Furcott here, who had the sole home run of the game for the Supremes here with that home run he had in the 5th inning that broke the scoreless tie. But before that, had a double that led up into that home run. So Hot Hitter, we have seen, has already made a big impact, and it's only been 1 game so far.
And if we're talking about the starting pitchers, the abilities are very different there. Joe Random II is missing gyro ball, battler, lucky, good delivery, and safe pitch. And I think lucky and battler are the 2 big ones. Battler will not make him not immune to Intimidator, and lucky will mean that the hitters will hit worse on the team of the Blake Supremes, while the Flyers will have the lucky ability from Karpov. So that should help any hitting for the Flyers.
Alrighty, you've heard it here first. And without further ado, let's head into Game 2 of the MLB Power Pros World Series. And we are live. Fresno Flyers versus Blake Supremes. The first pitch is a strike. The ring custom pitch right down the middle to Nogilny. The pitch. Contact is made. He is going to foul it off down the third base line. Another pitch. Takes a big cut of that one, really channeling his energy down the third baseline here. Kevin Nogilny is trying to kill the baseball today. He takes a big cut, but unfortunately, he could not connect that time.
Big strikeout there to get things started here for Karpov.
Indeed. Steve Dork up to bat. Takes a big cut on a slurve and misses it. Karpov is really tunneling these pitches.
And that is because of the
tries to get him low with the same pitch. Contact is made, goes, and unfortunately he cannot make it in time. You can see here that he tried to slide into first, which we don't see often from players. But unfortunately, he could not slide in time.
It was a great throw, though, a great play there by Corky Trask to make sure he didn't get in the way of the third baseman there, Pooh.
Daryl Archideld up to bat. He was the starting pitcher in yesterday's game. He makes contact. It looks like he's going to hit it shallow into the gap. Van Hecken's going to get a hold of it, relays to Trask, and holds him at first. Tank Dagwell, the designated hitter's up to bat. The pitch. Gets him with the ring low. I think I'm starting to pick up on the sequence that Karpov is utilizing here.
Just a little bit here.
Gets him to swing. Big cut on the slurve. This slurve is being really effective at keeping batters in check. And he gets a big cut for that third strike, and that will take us to the bottom of the first. Really impressive pitching we've been seeing.
Daryl Archideld's base hit is the first base hit that we've seen in the first inning from either team so far here in the World Series.
Yeah, I think we are back. Tyler Yates is up to bat. Joe Random II throws in his first pitch as a ball.
Which pitchers today are at that peak of motivation right now?
Gets him low with the random.
Definitely going to be a big advantage here for the Supremes.
Gets his first strikeout of the game on his first batter. Up next is Skip Marlowe. The pitch. Skip Marlowe is going to make contact to a beater in the dirt. The next pitch. All the pitchers are really trying to utilize these low pitches to get people to swing. He goes for the same location. The ump's not really picking up on it. Skip Marlowe makes contact. Dugnut goes back, but he can't get to it. The pitch.
Smart trying to go low.
Yeah. Especially when you're dealing with hitters that are as powerful as some of the ones we've seen. And he gets his second strikeout of the game. Jonathan Diamond up to bat.
Like we saw in the top half of the first inning, a lot of foul balls were very well hard hit, so trying to keep the ball low is a very smart idea.
Joe Random is really firing these pitches in here, and so is Karpov. And I believe, Cam, correct me if I'm wrong, that is due to the good delivery ability.
Karpov doesn't have the good delivery ability.
I see.
They can guess
sometimes you're wrong, and that's okay. Pitch to Van Hecken. We now have a runner on first. Joe Random's going to start to feel some pressure. And we are off to the races, and the throw is in time.
Beautiful throw there by Bobson Dugnut. There, being able to end the inning off early here and to neutralize any sort of threat that the Flyers may have had.
Tim Sandale is up to bat. Karpov had a great first inning. Contact is made, tries to ambush him, but when you want to ambush a pitcher on their first throw, you should hit the ball a little harder. Bobson Dugnut up to bat.
Great first pitch there by Karpov here in the inning.
He's starting to use his slurve as his first pitch. I think in the last inning we were seeing more of the ring. Dugnut makes contact to Trask. Will the throw be in time? It will not. Trask has seen a lot of action in these first couple innings, I'll say.
I was about to say, he has been the primary defensive player here, but that's still going to be marked as an infield hit.
Yep.
And with these,
Steve McDykel's up to bat using his one-handed ability. What were you going to say, Cam?
And with these hits, these batters are getting more hot hitter abilities to up their contact.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking about in the pregame.
Yeah. I believe everyone on the Blank Supremes has really come into it with a different headspace after yesterday's loss. We were off to the races again. Unfortunately, Bobson Dugnut is not fast enough. He gets out the same way he got the last out of the first inning. Steve McDykel makes contact, the throw to first, and unfortunately, we're going to move to the bottom of the second. Both teams are really putting on good defensive plays here.
The pitching has looked fantastic so far early in. Just a few fairly weak base hits only.
Yeah. Joe Random for his first pitch throws in a ball. He gets him on the random, which I believe is a custom knuckleball, which I did not know you could make in this game. Gets him with the random again on the low. The pitch, this could seal it. Contact is made. Foul ball high.
Random here has 2 knuckleballs.
Hecken did come up to bat. That's insane. I love trying to think of even having one knuckleball, let alone 2.
Vickford could have made the throw there, but I think it was smart that he didn't, considering Joe Random hadn't made it to the base yet. We have a runner on first. Winnie DePoo up to bat. Winnie DePoo makes contact right in the gap. Kevin Nogilny is going to try and get it. He throws it in. Terry Triples is now.
That's a big double there by Winnie Pooh there. Now two runners on in scoring position.
And Terry Triples Harry does have clutch hit 5.
Joe Random is really going to have to lock in. Uh-oh. That's what I would be saying if I was Joe Random right now. Joe Random throws in his third pitch for a strike. Wild pitch. Bobson Dugnut is able to keep it under control and hold the runners at third. But in this kind of position, this is not the time to be throwing wild pitches. And he gets a walk and loads the bases. This is looking pretty bad for Joe Random right now.
One of the very few times I've ever actually seen a walk in Power Pros.
Right, usually with these custom pitchers, they can locate like no other. Tim Sandali is going to get the ball, but one run is going to be allowed to come in, unfortunately. IA Ron is up to bat. Joe Random's really going to have to work hard here to minimize the damage. Ideally, you'd want to not throw a wild pitch. Runner is coming into third, but Bobson Dugnut was able to recover that ball and tag him out at the plate. So now with two runners on
the play as well, Terry Triples moves over to third.
Yeah, good catch. Full count here. Can Joe Random get out of this pinch? The pitch. He tries to get him low, but the Fresno Flyers are having a really good eye in this game. Corey Trask up to bat. Oh, this is... Man, you just don't want to see this.
Trask here has bases clearer and clutch hit 5 about.
Kevin O'Gilney, they're sending him home. Will the throw be in time? It will not. We are now back to the top of the lineup. Right now. Yeah, they're really opening up offensively. Can we see the double play? Yes, we can. We are now moving to the top of the third. Fresno Flyers 3-0.
This is exactly what you would ask for if you were a Flyers fan.
Yeah. Willie Dust is up to bat. Karpov only recording 2 strikeouts so far. Gets him low with the slurve.
That's really surprising. Karpov's really a power pitcher off fast speed pitches. Splitter, slurves, ring.
Yeah, he is very much... He's showing off his specialty in these pitches here. So far, he has thrown 3 balls. So, high pop-up to right. Christian Yates is going to get it for the first out of the inning. Rexford Vickford now up to bat. The pitch. Contact is made, but not in the right direction. Skip Marlowe is going to catch that pop-up. 2 outs now.
That's a big out there for Karpov here, trying to keep his pitch count a little bit more in check. That's a one pitch, one out.
Yeah. He's really getting the most bang for his buck with every throw. It's either a weak hit, a pop-up. Kevin O'Gilney up the bat. He struck out his last time at bat. Awkward. And he's going to strike out again. Wow. And that will take us to the bottom of the third.
3 pitches, no less, too.
Yeah, I must say, full credit to Karpov here. He's really keeping him shut down. We're now
fantastic so far.
Yep. Second in the lineup, Skip Marlowe is up to bat. Joe Random had a less than ideal outing as a pitcher last inning, so I'm sure he's feeling the stress. He gets a big cut on his 2-seamer high up. Gets another big cut with his 4-seamer. It seems like he's trying to tunnel that higher pitch there. And you even saw with that pitch, he's trying to get high. Full count.
A high knuckleball, that's a bold strategy.
That can go very wrong. And speaking of very wrong, he walked him. Up next to bat, Jonathan Diamond. First strike thrown in there. He seems to be getting angrier. He's throwing his pitches in a little bit faster. Gets a big cut on his knuckle low. The pitch almost hits him in the head for ball 2. And he gets him with the high and away fastball.
It's the first strikeout looking we've seen so far in this game.
Yeah, they were great offensively last inning, so they're surely coming off of that energy. But Joe Random, with 1 runner on, is going to do his best to shut this thing down. The pitch.
And so far right now, he's looked solid here, just trying to limit the damage here from the second inning.
Gets a big cut on the high Random. He's really trying to make sure that runner doesn't go. That's his second pickoff there. We're off to the races. The throw from Bobson Dugnut is in time, and that will end the third inning. And I will now pass it over to Alex.
Thank you so much. Here as now we head things off here. Top half of the fourth inning now is Steve Dork ready to lead things off here for the Supremes. First pitch, a splitter misses high. Count goes 1-0. As right now, Karpov has been dominant so far. Ground ball to the shortstop. Trasky has it easy. 6-3 ground out to get things started in the fourth. And that's going to bring up the pitcher shortstop, Archideld. First pitch on the way, a line drive into left field, but right there is Van Hecken. He's there and makes the grab, so 2 quick outs here for Karpov here in the top half of the fourth inning. 3-0 is your score. The next pitch on the way, a high drive, but that one's going to fall into center field for a base hit. A 2-out single there for Tank Dagwill, the designated hitter.
Those are the kind of hits that you want to get in a situation like this. Just get people on base and worry about the runs a little later.
Absolutely, keeping the innings going on here. First pitch is a strike. Next one lined right over the first baseman, but Triples is there, and he makes the grab. So that is a big 1-2-3 almost inning there with the one single thrown in there. We head now to the bottom half of the fourth. 3-0 is the score as Willie DePoo now comes in for the next at-bat here. Bottom half of the fourth inning. Next pitch is taken for a strike on the knuckle. Next on the four-seamer, whenever you can mix and match a 93-mile-per-hour fastball with a knuckleball, it's always going to be dangerous. As now the next pitch, another knuckle, is hit to center field, and it is going to be no Gilney in time for the out.
Terry Triples up to bat.
As Terry Triples, first pitch on the way, taken for a strike. He had a walk and a run score, so his first at-bat still currently right now.
That comes after a big game.
2-1 count as another fastball misses.
Sorry, what was that, Cam?
It comes after a big game yesterday.
Exactly. 3 hits in that game. As now a ground ball over to Archidell. Fields it cleanly, throws over to first in time for the out here. So finally now the other shortstop besides just Trask getting a little bit of play time here. As now the first pitch, a fastball to Christian Yates, taken for a strike, and then a fastball. That one levels out the count at 1-1. Swings and misses, a mighty cut there as the count goes to 1-2. The next pitch, a knuckler, misses outside. Here, cut that one a little dangerous there. As now we have a line drive right over to the second baseman. That's Dorky's there, and he makes the grab. So no runs, no hits, and no errors, and nobody left on. We head now to the top half of the fifth inning. Score is Fresno 3 and blank 0. So now, first pitch on the way. Bobson Dugnut, the catcher, grounds it right over to the second baseman. An easy 4-3 ground out. As now that's going to bring up the one-handed hitting Sleeve McDykel.
You know, they have a lot of energy. You can tell they're trying to jump on these pitches early, but what they're choosing to hit at is a little questionable, I think we can see.
Absolutely. As the next pitch swung on, a miss, count goes to 0-2. If you're going to swing early, it has to be on your pitch.
Yep.
Now, next pitch is fouled off, keeps the count here 0-2, top half of the fifth inning. Next pitch on the way is taken for a strike. Here, count out 1-2, excuse me. The next on the way, this one's lined, and a leaping grab by Corky Trask, and he makes the play, a stellar play there by the shortstop. As now that's going to bring up Willie Dustis to the dish for 2 outs. He lines one right over to Trask, and he is a busy, busy man today. And it's another 1-2-3 inning here for the Fresno Flyers as we head to the bottom half of the fifth inning. It is 3-0. So Aaron the second, get ready to lead things off here. Still on the bump, here's Joe Random as a first pitch. Taken for a strike, count goes to 0-1. Fastball now 1-1 here. 3-0 is your score.
Gets him high with that knuckler there. And starting to show some signs of fatigue.
And that comes from not having Battler with these lineups with Intimidators in them.
Now a liner, a little bit of a looper there, taken by Archidell. He has it in time over to first, another 6-3 ground out here. We'll have to see how long Joe Random keeps in this game. As now that's going to bring up the ever so busy shortstop in Corky Trask to the plate. Is now a line drive up the middle. Archidell has fielded it way off to his side, but he makes the play, but not the throws. It's just a little bit late. An infield base hit for Corky Trask is second on the day, and that flips the lineup card back to the top, and Tyler Yates
off to the races.
Taken out for second base. And he is not in time. Caught stealing. We've not seen a successful steal yet today as the count now goes to 1-1.
I mean, Bobson Dugnut, he's one of my creations. I love seeing him throwing guys out like this.
No, line down to Sleeman Dykel. My creation goes over to first in time for the out, and an unconventional 1-2-3 as we head to the 6th inning. Score still 3-0. All right, top half of the 6th inning here. Karpov still looking strong. He's yet to give up a run as the first pitch of splitter is taken for a strike here to the first baseman in Vickford. Now he hits a ground ball up the middle. That's going to go for a base hit. That's the first base hit of the day here for one Mr. Rexford Vickford. And now flips the lamb cart back to the top.
Kevin Nogilny up to bat. He struck out the past 2 times. He gets a grounder here, is able to avoid hitting into a double play, but Rexford Vickford is going to go down at second.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5-4 fielder's choice there for Nogilny as the next batter up is Steve Dork. And Dork fouls one off. Now next pitch on the way, a high pop-up. But this was going to be easy right there for Corky Trask. He's there and he makes the grab here for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Daryl Archdeld. Splitter's taken for a strike. 0-1 the count. Now swings a miss on the created pitch, and then swung on and missed again on the ring. 1-2-3, and that is the third out here. So the single does not mean much here for the Supremes. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Still 3-0 is your score.
They're just going to have to hope that he gets tired at a certain point. Karpov is putting an absolute dominant performance on the field. Looks like we have a pitching change here. Joe Random II is coming out of the game, and Sid Finch is taking his place.
So you were just talking about players getting tired, and right now Sid Finch comes in, so the day is officially done here for Joe Random II. Right now is in line for the loss, as now that'll bring up the next hitter to Skip Marlowe, the catcher. First pitch taken for a ball. 1-0 the count.
Sid Finch, I believe, only has a slider and 2 fastballs. 3 fastballs. Very interesting pitch selection.
Very interesting pitch selection there. A very general reliever as now the ground ball over to the second baseman Dork. He has it. Throws over to first in time for the out. As now that'll bring up Jonathan Diamond, the center fielder, on the day is 1 for 2. Next pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. That was a mistake pitch. So that fastball coming in at a sizzling 70 miles an hour. Now a ground ball on the infield. Throws over to first in time for the out. So now a 5-3 ground out here. As that'll bring up left fielder Van Hecken, who's 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch taken for a strike. 0-1 the count. Next on the way, a high drive into deep center field. Going back is Nogilny, and on the warning track, he's there and makes the grab. A great athletic play there by Kevin Nogilny as we head to the top half of the 7th inning, and I hand things back off to Jacob for the play-by-play.
Thank you, Alex. Tank Dagwell up to bat here. Hits a fast grounder up the middle. Fortunately, with a run speed of 3, that's probably the fastest thing we'll see from him. Tim Sandale up to bat. We got a runner on first. I hope Tank doesn't get any ideas and try to steal. Takes a big cut with the foul ball here.
I mean, so far, a 0% success rate for any stolen base in this game so far.
Yeah. Both the catchers and the pitchers have been really shining here. Christian Yates is going to get it and try to get a pickoff at first to Terry Triples. But thankfully, Tank Dagwell stayed pretty close to the base. Bobson Dugnut up to bat. First pitch is going to be thrown in there for a ball. Gets a big swing, strike right down the middle. Contact is made. It's going to be a shallow hit. They're sending Tank Dagwell to third.
And he's going to make it in, just not even a throw there. So, hey, respect him on that. Now we got Sleep McDyke coming up with 2 runners on.
The pressure is really on Karpov here. We have runners in scoring position. Wild pitch. Tank Dagwell is going for home, and he is tagged out. That was a choice by the third base coach there.
That 3-speed coming in through.
That 3-speed, not great.
And that is going to be the end of the inning, bringing us to the bottom of the 7th.
Man, a big chance there for the Blank Supremes, and they just could not come through on that one there. Like, I understand it's a wild pitch, and you want to be able to try and make it work here, but you're not going to send David Ortiz on a ball that barely gets past the catcher. You're not going to send Bartolo Colon, who's on at third base on a wild pitch. That's definitely a decision.
A bit of baffling decision by Aki there.
With such a short backstop, too, it's not like the catcher has to go very far. All right, up to bat, Winnie the Pooh. It's the pitch from Sid Finch. Tries to ambush him on that first one. Takes a big cut, but misses. Sid Finch is really trying to pitch tunnel right in that bottom corner. Contact is made, but it is going to be a high foul ball into the stands behind home plate. Tries to go high. He's really trying to avoid the center of the strike zone here. Gets him on a big cut and records potentially his first strikeout of his outing. Terry triples up to bat. Any of my stat heads next to me will helpfully clarify if that was actually his first strikeout of the evening. Pop fly.
Yes.
Tim Sandali's running for it. Not fast enough.
Yes, that was Sid Finch's first strikeout of the evening so far.
Thank you. Pitch. Gets him with a low grounder. Dork to Vickford. Excellent play there. Very simple baseball, but very effective. Sid Finch.
Dork with a great athletic play on that
Yeah.
one, too. Made it go with his momentum fully going forward.
Christian Yates is now up to bat. Another grounder to the pitcher. Dork to Vickford. Vicksford. They're holding them here defensively, but they're going to have to start holding them accountable offensively. Coming into this inning here. Willie Dust is up to bat. The pitch from Karpov. He's going to get it in there for a ball. You got to be really careful about what you're choosing to hit, too. 2 balls. Gets strike one with the slurve. We haven't really seen him throwing that slurve that much ever since his first few innings of the outing. Gets a big cut with the second use of the slurve.
Maybe a bit of the strategy there, trying to make sure it's usable later in the game, and that might prove it there.
He just struck him out with 3 slurves. That was really impressive. He came from behind the count and really nailed him to it. Vicksford up to bat. Gets another big cut with that slurve. You know, it's easy from here in the commentator booth to say, well, I wouldn't swing at that, but I probably would.
I played baseball again last Friday here, and someone threw a curveball, looked like it was going to hit me in the hip, and it finished in the strike zone. And I'm like, nope, I'm good.
Fouls it off there.
Do we see another spring like that?
He's really trying to get him on the edges here. I think that's the strategy, dare I say, both pitchers are trying to employ. Contact is made. Jonathan Diamond is going to get there and catch it. A very good at-bat for Willie Dustis, even if it didn't result in a hit. Kevin O'Gilney up to bat.
Especially when you get later in these ball games here, you're just trying to take away pitches from the starting pitcher who has been absolutely dominant today.
He really has. I'm very impressed with the performance that Karpov has been put up today. Gets him down low for a ball. The pitch. Kevin O'Gilney with a home run. It's gone. Home run. And forgive my excitement, the Blank Supremes record their first run of the ball game with a solo homer from Kevin O'Gilney.
That's his first.
But with the Flyers lead, that will allow Karpov to keep his battler ability in here.
Which is unfortunate for the Blank
was
Supremes, but that was a beautiful home run. Really just textbook stuff.
Yeah, his first hit of the ball game. He struck out twice and got on via fielder's choice, and then he just absolutely demolishes that baseball.
Steve Dork up to bat. To Trask. You know, say what you want about Trask. He's really working for his paycheck in this game. I think like a good percentage of the plays have involved him defensively. A.A. Ron up to bat, the DH. Sid Finch with the pitch. Going to go in there for a strike. Another pitch. Tries to get him. Can't quite make contact. 2 strikes, 0 balls. 2 strikes, 1 ball. The pitch. Dork is going to throw it to Vickford and make the play. 1 out.
That is the third straight ground ball to the second baseman, by the way, for the Fresno Flyers.
Willie Dustis is going to get on this hit and hold the runner at first. Tyler Yates is up to bat.
That was Corky Trask's third single in a row as well. He's 3 for 3 on the day now.
Yeah, he's that second lineup.
You know, kind of like I was saying earlier. Kevin O'Gilney is going to go back for this. He's going to have to get it in. Are they going to send him home? They are not going to send anybody home.
I think they learned a little bit there from some movement from Tank Dagwell on the Blank Supreme side.
And we don't mean to make fun of Tank Dagwell. He's a really great guy.
Oh, absolutely not.
But
absolutely,
you don't send him. The pitch to Skip Marlowe. We've got runners in scoring position. Sid Finch is really going to have to hold this down before this game escapes the grasp of the Blank Supremes here.
And Skip Marlowe does have clutch hit 5 here, which might help.
I think it's going to help right there.
They're sending 2. The throw is not in time. The score is going to be 1-5.
And we have a new pitcher coming in.
They're pulling out Sid Finch and putting in Glenn Allen Mixon, another one of my creations. In the first game, you could argue he kind of did not put up the greatest performance. He came in with runners on, but it's a new day. We have a runner on first, I believe?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have a runner on first, yep.
Wild pitch. Bobson with the throw, but he cannot get him out at second.
Glenn Allen Mixon last game went 1 inning, giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 strikeouts.
Yikes. A hit into the gap here. Kevin Nogilny, he's going to go back and try and get it in, but another run is going to come home. I believe that run will be awarded to Sid Finch.
They will be, as that was an inherited runner.
High pop-up. Kevin Nogilny is going to catch it 1 out closer to the end of this inning. This has gotten a little worse for the Blank Supremes.
6-1 the score.
Yeah, that's tough. Glenn Mixon, first pitch, gets it for a strike. And the Fresno Flyers are really heating up here. They're trying to kill the ball at this point. Second strike. The pitch is thrown in there low. That's the Supreme, which I believe is a custom palm ball. Gets a big cut, records a strikeout to end the inning. We are now heading to the top of the 9th.
Last chance here for the Blank Supremes. They've got one heck of a deficit to come back from. Last time when they were in this position, they only had to come back from 1 run. Now it's 5.
That's not a position anybody wants to be in. The pitch to Archideld. It's going to be a low ball.
And Carball's coming to go to the heart of the order here, 3, 4, and 5.
Archideld is going to pop it up to Tyler Yates, who's going to catch it. 1 down.
Still no sign of fatigue even from Karpov. He is putting on a masterclass today.
Cam, does Karpov have poker face?
No, he has Battler, which is what's allowing him to be immune from Intimidator.
Oh, I see.
That's the big difference here.
That tracks.
Tank Dagwell with a big cut down the third base line to secure a single. Not a combination of words you get to say every day.
That's 3 straight base hits for Tank Dagwell, and also probably the hardest hit single that you'll ever see. Shout out to O'Neill Cruz.
Tim Sandale up to bat. He's taking a big cut. They've really got to be careful here. If he hits into a double play, that will be the end of the ball game. So he's really watching his pitches carefully. Hits another foul, not really helping his strike count. And Karpov gets him. Big cut. Bobson Dugnut, potentially the last batter the Supremes are going to send out. What will he do? First pitch thrown in there for a ball. And he pops it up to Skip Marlowe, and that is the ball game. Supremes lose it 1-6.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest here. There's really only one name that's popping out to me for like a player of the game on this, and that's Viktor Karpov. You go a complete game here in a World Series with all of these incredible ball players here, and he only gives up 1 run on that home run to Kevin Nogilny back in the 8th. I mean, he put on an absolute clinic out there on the diamond here today, but also that's not to take away from the great offense that we saw here as well from the Fresno Flyers here. We saw a grand total of what looks to be about 12 hits for my count. I might need to double check that count here, especially with Corky Trask going 3 for 3 with 3 singles and a run scored.
I would argue Corky Trask honestly deserves a conversation for MVP of the game. I mean, he was involved in a good portion of the plays and also putting up a great amount of work offensively as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this, like, honestly, this is one of those co-MVP discussions here, because at this point, absolutely, he fully deserves to be partially MVP of the game, but you also got to make sure that Viktor Karpov gets his flowers too, because that was again, I've already used the term here, but that was an absolute masterpiece.
Better than our last two pitchers duel.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and just to give an MVP to the losing team, I know people have kind of mixed feelings about participation trophies, but I would argue that Kevin O'Gilney should definitely be in talks for MVP of the losing team with that solo shot. He helped avoid a shutout from such a great pitcher.
Yep, I completely agree. I also want to give some shout out here as well to Take Dagwell. Went 3 for 4 on the day with 3 base hits. And honestly, had he not been sent home back during the 7th inning when he was on at third base, I think there's a very real chance that the Blank Supremes at least have some bit more momentum on their side here, because that really killed their rep.
And I think even Bobson Dugnut put up a great performance as catcher. I don't think we saw a successful steal from either side. So I guess in a way, this is my flowers to Skip Marlowe as well. But I think just really incredible defensive playing from Bobson.
And all of these pitchers have release 4, and they have all these catchers have throwing 4 with 13 arm strength. So it's really tough to steal against these guys.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. This has been a very interesting game. You take a look at the first one, right? And that was a dogfight. That one felt like people were scratching and clawing for anything that they could get here. The pitching was solid here, but it wasn't as solid as in this game here. This game was all about defense here. And that's why we bring up the co-MVPs for both Viktor Karpov and Corky Trask. Because on the pitching side of things, you can't really get a whole lot better than a complete game. And only giving up 1 run in that effort as well. In fact, actually, if I count my notes here correctly, let's see here, doing a little bit of quick math here. That is 9 hits given up by Viktor Karpov. Only 1 of them was a home run. And if I keep looking back even more through my notes here, that home run, it was the only extra base hit that the Blank Supremes got all game.
Wow.
Just to let that sink in just a little bit here, right? Every other hit that was allowed was a single. Even in their 7th inning for the Supremes, where they got runners at the corners, it started out with a Take Dagwell single, then a single by Bobson Dugnut that got the runners on the corners. Here, there was no extra bases. The only time that a ball was hit hard and in fair play, basically, was that home run in the 8th inning. Here, whereas you take a look at the Fresno Flyers, here, and they had extra base hits all the way throughout the game, with the first one coming from Winnie DePoo back in the 2nd inning, and then afterwards from that, the 8th inning was the next time we saw any real big offense.
And some of that might have occurred because Karpov has the lucky ability, which gives hitters a boost in hitting while he pitches. And when you have a game like this, you got to think.
That definitely could be one of those big abilities here. Maybe an ability of the day for a later game. Because I gotta tell you, hot hitter definitely showed itself today. Here, Tank Dagwell going 3 for 4 here. Corky Trask going 3 for 3 here. We had a lot of multi-hit performances in today's ballgame.
Yeah. Honestly, I would argue that Viktor Karpov should be the start of the lineup over Yates.
It's very possible.
I think he put up a drastically better performance. I think, if I'm correct, he pitched a complete game, where Tyler Yates, who I believe is the super stitch for the Fresno Flyers, went into the 8th inning. And sure, it's only 1 inning of a deficit, but what Karpov was able to stop the Supremes from doing compared to what Yates was able to stop them from doing. Bit of a deficit. I don't know. If I was the clubhouse manager, I would definitely consider switching things around a little bit.
Well, as the guy who made both of them, you gotta feel good.
Fair enough. So one thing I do want to bring up, though, kind of the comparison between Viktor Karpov here and Tyler Yates here. Yates in his outing went 7 innings, giving up just 3 hits, with 1 run being earned, obviously. That one, I believe, was also from a home run. That was by Sean Furcott. here, but no walks. And do you remember how many strikeouts that Yates got in that game?
14?
I think at least one.
It was 12 strikeouts.
Oh.
Tyler Yates got 12 strikeouts. Now you compare that with what Victor did today. He definitely did better, but he also did it by trusting his defense a lot here because he went 9 innings, giving up 9 hits, 1 run. It was the home run there by Kevin Gilney with no walks and only 6 strikeouts. I say only as if that's a bad thing. It's not at all. But when you're comparing the two, he got half the strikeouts that Tyler Yates did with 2 more innings here. That shows that if you take a look here, even going like batting order, at bat to at bat to at bat here, there were a ton of at bats that were decided before the end of even 3 pitches. That's where I think, honestly, the Blank Supremes lost today here, is that they were trying to be too aggressive at the plate here. Whereas you take a look at the Fresno Flyers here, they were out here actually drawing walks. Like they were getting deep into counts. Like, I'm looking at my scorebook here, and the first time that they got into a full count was in the 2nd inning with Sleeve McDykel. And then after that, all right, get this one. So I'm honestly shocked at what I'm looking at here. In the 4th and the 6th inning, those innings were decided in less than 6 pitches each. Like in inning 4 here, it was one pitch taken for a ball, then a ground out, first pitch line out, first pitch single, second pitch line out. Inning number 6 here, one pitch ball, one pitch strike, single, then one pitch ball, fielder's choice, no pitch into a fly out, 3 pitches strikeout.
And random lives by the knuckleball. And when you throw the knuckleball, you're going to have some unpredictability with those full counts. And I think that's a big part of it.
Exactly. That's just how it works sometimes. Well, no, that was Victor Karpov.
No, I'm saying with random,
I see exactly what you're
higher pitch counts.
Absolutely, yeah.
And with knuckleballs, too, you have to be so careful. Because the double-edged sword that they are, if you don't locate that knuckleball correctly, you have just thrown the tastiest, slowest pitch right down the center. And a lot of hitters facing knuckleballers, correct me if I'm wrong, will definitely wait for a mislocation because not every pitch is going to be perfect. And especially MLB Power Pros sets the expectation of players way too high. Because when you watch real baseball, they are not recording numbers nearly the same.
I mean, it depends, but yes.
Right. I mean, you know what I mean. We're not seeing batting averages of 800.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's a very clear disconnect from the two because it's a video game and this is a hobby, a thing we do for fun.
Exactly.
So,
absolutely. One thing I do want to make a quick note of here as well. I'm also a knuckleballer in real life. That's my main pitch I throw here. And if you do not, it's not even so much about location because a lot of times knuckleballers also don't know where that ball's going to go. As long as you keep it fairly low and you know what your arm strength is able to do, you can make sure that knuckleball stays at least down. But like you said here, if your knuckleball is just not on that day, that pitch coming in does not look like a baseball anymore. That thing looks like a beach ball that can be shot out of a cannon. It is scary if you're a knuckleballer and you see that the ball, instead of dancing the tango, is dancing a floss. It don't work too well.
It do not work too well. I think that is all the time we have for our post-game today. Thank you all for watching and your patience, and stay tuned for Game 3. I'm Jacob.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Alex.
And we will see you all next time.